Hi, my name is Ali Smith. I'm one of the co-founders of the Holistic Life Foundation and one of the co-owners of the Involution Group. My journey with meditation started when I was a very little kid. My dad was one of those people who was into yoga and meditation. I guess got into it in the mid to late 70s, around the time I was born. So whenever my brother was around, actually, I don't remember a time that my brother and I weren't meditating together as kids. Like my memory doesn't go back that far. I just remember the three of us sitting in the back room having a meditation practice every single morning before school. We also grew up in a church that had meditation at its forefront. It was Divine Life Church of Absolute Oneness. It was based on the Self-Realization Fellowship. So Kriya Yoga and meditation were heavily involved. So Sunday school always started with meditation. Church started with meditation. And then my parents also put me in Friends School of Baltimore, which is a Quaker school. And there they had meeting for worship. There's a lot around centering, so you took a pause before you did anything. So I think a lot of the behavior shaping institutions that my parents put me in as a kid kind of helped get me to this point where I'm doing the work with the Holistic Life Foundation and the Evolution Group. I stopped meditating when my parents got divorced. I guess that was around fifth grade. And then I didn't meditate again really until towards the end of college. Me and Atman's godfather, Uncle Will, was one of those people that got into yoga in the mid to early 60s, probably the early 60s, really, and never ever got out of it. He was always practicing. He was always trying to teach. He was always learning. And when we were finished up college, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do with our lives. And we were just searching. And a lot of the books we were reading talked about the answers being within, but we weren't really sure how to tap into that within to get to those answers. So as we were talking and listening with him and just hanging out, really, he was trying to push yoga and meditation and breath work, centering practices, just the whole inner journey. So that was when I guess that the next day after we had a really deep conversation with him, he just told us that we need to come start learning from him. But we had to agree to be teachers. That was one of the things he was telling. He said he would teach us everything he learned, but we had to go agree and teach as many people as we possibly could once he actually taught us. And we agreed to that. So that next morning, I started my journey with meditation. This practice I'm going to show you all today is actually the first meditation that I learned as an adult. Uncle Will knew that I hadn't meditated in a very, very, very long time, and he wanted to try to ease us into mental stillness. A lot of people feel like their minds are going all day and they don't get any pause in their thoughts. I'm sure we've all had a day where you don't do anything physical, but your mind's going all day. Your mind's going all day, and you get home and you're physically exhausted, but not from doing anything because you haven't done anything physical. You're physically exhausted from your mind going all day and burning off all that mental energy. So you get home and you're just whipped, like it's the end of your day. You need to go to sleep, but even though you haven't done anything physical, um, a lot of times people don't pay attention to their thoughts or watch their thoughts. Their thoughts are just kind of going and going and going and going and going. And usually, when you let your thoughts do that, they end up in a negative place. So it takes some awareness of your thoughts and some discipline to pull your thoughts from the negative place into a positive place. So this practice today is all about being aware of your thoughts, but also finding the stillness, because there is stillness in your mind. You just have to know where to find it. So we're going to do the practice, and then afterwards we're going to talk about it for a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in a comfortable meditative position, back, neck, and head aligned. If you're in a seat, root your feet in the floor. If that's comfortable for you, you can rest your hands in your lap, and I welcome you to close your eyes. We're going to start by taking a couple deep breaths together, in and out through our noses all the way down to our belly, expanding it on the inhale and contracting it on the exhale. Let's go ahead and inhale nice and deeply. Fill your belly, fill your lungs. And exhale that breath all the way out. Feel your lungs fall, squeeze your belly all the way in. Inhale deeply, fill your belly and your lungs. And exhale, feel your lungs fall, squeeze your belly all the way in. Imagine you're pushing your belly button to your spine, push all that stale air and all those stale thoughts out of your mind. Inhale again deeply, fill your belly and your lungs. And exhale that breath all the way out, feel your lungs fall, push your belly all the way in. All right, now go ahead and continue breathing on your own at a nice, comfortable, relaxed pace. A pace that you don't have to put any effort into whatsoever. Just let your body naturally breathe. Whatever breath rate your body comes to, just allow it to be. There's no right or wrong. Just let your body breathe. And as you're breathing, quickly scan through your body and take note of anywhere you might be holding on any tension. If you become aware of anything, just acknowledge it. Just feel that tension and know where it is, and allow it to release with every single exhale. And every time you exhale, you feel that spot on your body becoming more and more relaxed. Now we're going to bring our awareness to our mind, and very, very passively, like we're sitting back watching a movie or a TV show, you're just going to watch the thoughts that are flowing through your mind. You're not going to judge the thoughts that you see. You're not going to take ownership of the thoughts that you see. You're going to be the observer, and you're just going to watch the thoughts. Whatever thoughts arise, good, bad, and different, remember, it's not on you to judge them. It's not on you to take ownership of them. All you're going to do is sit back and watch them. Just be the observer and watch your thoughts. Remember, all you're doing is watching your thoughts. Just passively sit back and observe the thoughts that are flowing through your mind. No ownership, no judgment. Now, whatever thought's currently in your mind, watch that thought to its completion. And then when it ends, watch for the next thought to form. If another thought does arise, see the thought. Remember, no ownership or judgment. Just see it. Watch it to its completion. And then when it ends, watch for the next thought to form. And just keep repeating that process. As thoughts arise, you see the thought without ownership or judgment. You watch it to its completion. Then you watch for the next thought. Just keep watching for the next thought. And remember, as thoughts arise, don't fight with your mind and try to block them out. Don't own the thoughts. Don't judge the thoughts. Just passively observe the thought, watch it to its completion, and then watch for the next thought to form. right, now we're going to slowly draw ourselves out of the practice. We're going to start by very, very lightly wiggling our fingers and toes. You go ahead and roll your wrists and roll your ankles. Move your head a little bit from side to side. And then whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and slowly, slowly open up your eyes. All right, I just want to say a couple things about that practice. One is that when I first learned it, I remember going up to my teacher and telling him that I'd broken the practice. And he's like, "What are you talking about? You broke the practice." I'm like, "Well, you told me to watch my thoughts. I watched my thoughts. I watched the thought to the end. And then when it ended, I watched the next thought. There was a big blank space there. So I was used to thoughts being in my mind. So I inserted a thought to that blank space, watched that one to the end. And then when I looked for the next thought, there was another blank space. I just kept repeating that process where I was inserting thoughts into my mind. I'm sure a lot of you all went through that same process with your mind where you saw that blank space. You used to be in thoughts in your mind, so you inserted a thought in that space. What you got to be used to is you got to be used to that stillness in your mind. A lot of people aren't used to that. I wasn't used to it at the time. But if you watch your thoughts, they kind of go in waves. And at those troughs, there's a pause, there's a break in your thoughts. So once you can find it, you can relax in it, you can cultivate those pauses and make them longer and longer and longer, and you get more mental stillness. So you don't spend your meditation practice fighting with your mind, or you don't spend your meditation with your mind. You spend your meditation practice just watching your thoughts and calmly finding the pauses and being able to relax in those pauses. And you're not doing a bunch of reflection. You're actually spending time in stillness, and you're actually be able to meditate. So it's a great practice to use if you have a current meditation practice and you get stuck. To this day, I've been meditating daily for a really, really long time. And at some points, my mind starts to whatever there's clutter in there. And I use this practice and jump back in whatever meditation I'm doing. So use this meditation to get yourself some mental stillness, preserve that thought energy if you're going throughout your day and you feel your mind racing or your mind wandering. But just know that those pauses are there and they're accessible to you, and mental stillness is accessible to you. I'll be back in 3 weeks for another practice. You guys will get Atman again. You guys get Andy again. Then I'll be back in 3 weeks. Thank you all very much for practicing with me, and have a great day.